So I was blacklisted. I remember my mom would tell me that we got your letters, you need to pay your accounts and you need to pay. I said, okay, I'll pay. I would tell her I'm going to pay, but I never paid.
We are women. It means that we are brave, strong, capable, unique. We are woman to woman.
Good afternoon, South Africa. Good afternoon, Africa. And here we are on a countdown towards the end of 2024. 25 days to go. Did you know that, Togo? Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Simon. Good afternoon to our viewers.
Today, our show, it's not necessarily about Kidisimba Boss. It is our Kidisimba Boss, but it is a way to prevent you, to bulletproof you from what comes on in January. So our show today will teach you how to avoid Jan-worries. Toko, how many people get into debts and problems because they have a wonderful season in December, but then they have to face the consequences?
Yeah, it's a lot of them actually, Mrs. M, because you know December, many businesses, business companies, everything, they make money in December. Because you know that when it's December, you see sale everywhere, it's sale, sale, sale. But if you go back and remember the price of what you think is on sale, it's actually not on sale. They are just making money. It's time for business companies and, you know, shops, stores to make money. And people fall into that trap because they tell themselves, this is on sale. And sometimes they give you even, you know, no, you can pay after. Don't worry. Take as much as you want. You can pay after. Then people make a lot of debts. When January comes, people have no money even to pay school fees for their kids.
And this is why we welcome today Maggie to our studio. Good afternoon to you. Welcome to Woman to Woman.
Thank you so much.
And I know you're going to share with us your past Jan-worries.
Yes.
Toko, something else that they do often, and this is what we are going to explore. What is behind the industry so that they can make money in this season? Because of course someone needs to give them money.
Yes.
And commonly, us.
Exactly, it's us. Because remember that people need money. As much as we need money, these companies need money as well. So we are the ones to give them money. Then the worries come in January. So we are going to share all that because as we say January, but you remember worry, then people are afraid. I don't have money for school fees. I don't have money because I chowed everything that moment thinking that everything is on sale. Now you are stuck with kids that are not in school because you spend a lot. So yeah, people make money. Everyone wants money. So we are going to see. Let's watch our insert and see what is happening.
During the festive season, businesses make the most money by using few key strategies, where businesses offer big sales, discounts, and special offers to attract shoppers looking for good deals. The holiday pricing strategies. Businesses offer holiday gifts as many people buy gifts for family and friends, so businesses sell products that are perfect for gift giving. Offer bundles and add-on sales. Businesses often offer holiday package deals where they bundle a core product with accessories. The result is that the deal's value is seen as higher by consumers rather than the sum of the individually priced products. Provide premium products and upsell. Many buyers are willing to pay higher prices during the holiday season. To the buyers, a more expensive gift means higher value. Set an anchor price. This is when shops show a product or service with a high price. Then all the subsequent items that they show will appear to be discounted. For example, objects are placed from highest price to the lowest price. This is to make the items that come after the premium price object seem to be a good deal. There is also an increase in collaboration because some businesses work together with other businesses or influencers to reach more customers and get more sales. Businesses often use emotions to influence people's decisions. Showing ads that make us feel happy, scared, or even guilty can push us to make purchases we hadn't planned on. Businesses use the influence of social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok to make it easier for influencers and celebrities to promote products. Many companies offer payment plans like Buy Now, Pay Later, BNPL, which can make products seem more affordable in the short term, but can lead to overspending over time. Marketing strategies are designed to make products more desirable, create urgency, and encourage emotional responses. This leads people to buy things that they don't always need, often resulting in overspending.
We are not here to bash business.
No.
Because at the end of the day, they need to make money.
Yes.
But each one of us needs to learn how to spend responsibly. Because if we don't, Maggie will share her story, isn't that?
Yes,
Please.
Masha. My name is Maggie Sithole, and I'm here to share the many mistakes that I made in my early 20s and how I overcame them. So when I got my first job as a journalist, as a freelance journalist for a media company, so I didn't have a camera. So I needed to get a camera so that I can be able to do my work, because my editor advised me to get a camera because when you're a freelance journalist, you need to make more money because you're getting paid according to the stories that you gave in. So now what happened is that I didn't have a camera, so I needed to get one, and that the only option that I had was to open an account. Yeah. So I opened an account in a furniture store because they were selling cameras. So I got myself a camera. So when I saw the monthly installment, it wasn't so much. It was a little, I can't remember how much it was. It was something I thought I would be able to afford. And then after getting myself a camera, now that I'm going to work, I need clothes. Yep. I need to look nice because you're thinking that I'll be meeting people, interviewing people. Exactly. So now I have to look presentable. So I opened an account. And it was so easy back then to be accepted. For you to be approved, it was very easy. So I got approved, and then when I got the credit, it wasn't enough. I felt like it's not enough because now it's not only for me, because remember, it's my first job, and now I need to help my sister as well with the kids. If I'm taking the clothes, I can't do it for myself alone. You feel guilty that, I can't do it alone. I have to also help my sister and the kids. So then, because your name is out there, your contact details are out there, they've got access to you. It's like they'll call you. And then they want to offer you credit. And then I felt like, yes, I do need more.
So you were, after this is another one, after this is another one.
Yes, I needed more because I needed more clothes. Then I accepted the credit. I think I had three 3 accounts.
From different places.
From different places, yes. And remember, I still have the camera. So now I didn't sit down and think how much will I pay monthly, because I just looked at one store that from this store, maybe let's say it's 400 Rand. And I mean, it's not a lot. That's what I was thinking. But when you combine all of this installment month end, it becomes a lot. So now when I had to pay like 4 installments, then it became too much.
Yes.
I remember I said to my sister, oh, this is a lot. But when I was taking the credit, I didn't think about it, you know, or let alone having someone to at least guide you into it, because I mean, money conversations.
And you were young.
I was very young. I was like, I think 21 or 20, I can't remember, I think 21. So, and then I was happy that I got credit, have nice clothes.
If we think about the triggering point, and that's what maybe our audience needs to be attentive to. In principle, there was a reason.
Yes.
Without a camera, you could not work.
Exactly.
Without
clothes,
you could not be presentable. But from the moment that you start making concessions to all your needs, because honestly today you might think, maybe I could have waited a little longer to buy all the clothes or to help my sister. But in that spur of the moment, you think you're going to cope.
Yes.
And of course, in the beginning, there is always a reason. But it becomes a cycle, isn't that?
Yes, it's true, because in the beginning, I thought to myself that I'll cope. And I believe that the camera that I took, it was a good debt, I would say, if there is something like that. I don't know. Yes, because of I needed to make money. But then not being able to think properly that I will have to, if I take on more accounts, then it's going to be a problem. I never thought about it. I felt like I needed them. And you'll never get satisfied with what you have. It's like the more you get, the more you want.
Yeah. And how did you, so you found yourself on a freelancer job.
Yes.
So you didn't have a fixed income to start with.
Yes.
It was freelance.
Yes.
Then, owing to 4 companies, so to say, 4 shops, plus transportation, food, expenses. How
It became
How did
a
you
lot.
manage?
It became a lot. It became a lot because of now that I'm working, I need to help at home. I need to contribute as well because I'm staying there. I need to help my mom to pay electricity, buy food. So that became a lot. It really became a lot at some point, because in the beginning I was paying my accounts to the point where I was like, oh, this is like too much. Then I had to skip some month, I will skip eventually. Then I stopped paying them because I felt like, I can't afford anymore. So I need to stop paying. Then I stopped paying. I stopped paying for the accounts.
And what happened?
So while I was still working, because I was in Cape Town by then I moved to Johannesburg where I got a job, this side in Johannesburg. And then moving this side, I stayed with my aunt in Soweto, I think for 2 months. And well, the salary that I asked for is what I got. It was enough, right? But then because of the debts, I could not even enjoy my salary. So when I moved in with my aunt, I stayed 2 months and then I moved out to rent a flat. So that's another responsibility that I didn't even think of, that now I need to pay rent, something I've never done because I was staying at home. So now I need to pay rent, to buy clothes, and then again I need to get the house furniture for myself as well. But then I was renting, I was sharing with the family, but I also needed to have my own pots, my own things that you would need in the house. So then eventually I stopped paying my debts, like literally stopped. And but then, even the clothes that I took on account, I didn't even have them anymore. So why would I pay? I mean, I don't have the clothes. I don't even remember what happened to the camera that I took on account. So it was so difficult. Then I also needed to send money back home. that was very hard. So I just had to stop
But when you
paying.
stopped paying your accounts, were you not blacklisted? Were they not after you?
Yes, of course, they want their money.
Yes, yes.
They want their money. They're so nice in the beginning when they give
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
credit, you know. It's like they're helping you, and I also need help at that time. You feel like you need help. So I was blacklisted. I remember my mom would tell me that we got your letters, you need to pay your accounts and you need to pay. I said, okay, I'll pay. I would tell her I'm going to pay, but I never paid. So it happened one day that a sheriff came to the house to collect the camera because it was from a furniture store.
Yes.
So back then they used to send the sheriff.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still do that now, but they used to send the sheriff
do.
to collect.
They do.
To collect the camera or something that's in the house,
That's
which is
valuable, equivalent to...
Yes. So my mom told me, I think they went there twice. The first time, because of I was not there, I was in Johannesburg. So the first time when they came, my mom didn't call me. The second time, I think my mom called me and the sheriff was there. And then she gave the sheriff the phone to speak to me. She didn't even give me a warning, at least that someone is here to collect. And then the sheriff said to me, we are here because you have an account with the furniture store and you have not been paying. Then I said, no, I don't have money. I don't afford to pay it. So he advised me that, you know, you're still young. I mean, pay your account. It's very important for you to pay your account because you are blacklisted. I think by then I was blacklisted. Yeah. So then I said, okay, I listened to him. I said, okay, I'll pay. And he advised me that I should make arrangements and pay what I can afford to pay. So I made arrangements. I did it because I didn't even want him to go back to my house to bother my mom. Then I made an arrangement. I called the furniture store. When I called them, they said, your account is being handed over
to the lawyers.
Yes, to the debt collectors. So now here's the number, call them. I said, okay, I'll call them. I called them and I made arrangements. Then I paid monthly. I think I took a year to finish that account. Then the other ones I was not paying for them because of now I wanted to get this one out of the way. So those ones were still there. I still had those accounts. Then I paid this one. And then I remember when I went to Cape Town to visit, my friend, she said to me, you know what, Maggie, I closed my account. Because I remember the same thing with her when she got a job. She went to open an account and we went together. She went shopping, you know, for her because she was getting her first job. She was doing her articles. So now she said, remember the accounts I had, I closed them. So I would advise you to do the same and start buying things cash. I was like, you know, how is that even possible? To buy stuff cash. And I said, okay, I listened, but for me, it seemed like something so impossible because, you know, what you know is to get something on credit.
Yeah.
That conversation whereby you need to buy things cash, it's possible, or if you don't afford it, then don't buy it.
Right, yes.
So I never had those conversations. So that's why it was, for me, it was, okay, only credit. I was buying on credit. Then I said, okay, to her. When I remember again, because of I wanted to further my studies, I took a student loan.
But have you paid all your debts?
No.
Okay, so you were paying rental here.
Yes.
Transportation, food, utilities.
Yes.
Accounts.
Yes. The accounts, I was not paying them. I only paid the one.
There were arrangement of the
Yes,
camera.
the arrangement of the camera.
And now, what has a very good reason. You wanted to further your studies.
Yes,
You wanted to
yes.
empower yourself.
Yes.
But how are you going to do it with so many debts?
I was not even thinking, how am I going to do it?
I think in your mind, what I see, it's like everything that you were doing had a reason.
Yes.
As Ms. Masa said. So you thought like, no, because there is a reason I need to further my studies.
Yes.
I need the camera for this. So all the time there was a reason, never thinking of the consequences.
Yes, I never thought of the consequences. So it was, again, something good that I needed to do. So I took up student loan. I was approved. And then when I was about to finish paying the student loan, then they call me. They're like, we see that you've been paying, but that one I was paying it. I was really paying it faithfully. And they said, we're about to finish paying your loan and maybe you need a break, you need money. And yes, I was like, yes, I do need money. I do need money because I was paying my student loan, rent, and all of that. So then I took the loan that they offered me. Month end comes, because when they were explaining to me, is that we give you a loan and then we close up that other one. To then you're only going to have one account.
Like a consolidation.
It was not a consolidation.
Not yet a consolidation.
Yes, not consolidation, but it's still a loan. You close this one.
Extension of the
yes, loan. Then, but month end comes. It's not what I understood because I thought that it will only be one installment, but actually you still owe that loan. That when they were selling it to you, it was like, you're gonna pay it up, that one is off. It's not, it's still there, it's still active, you need to pay it. So then I was like, oh, this is a trap. I was trapped. I felt like I was trapped, but I had to pay for it anyway. So that became so difficult. I couldn't cope financially. It's like I'm swimming in debt. I'm about to drown. It was just too much for me. And then remember, I still need to help because my sister back then, she was not working. So I was still helping her with the kids, helping her to pay school fees, the school stationery. And then comes December, there is this December time where kids wants to...
Right now, we are living it right now.
Yes, they need clothes, then I need to buy for them. They're even demanding clothes that you don't even have, those expensive sneakers, you need to buy for them. And then I didn't even have the sneakers. I remember telling my sister, I don't even have the sneakers that they want, but I'm working and they are not working. So it was really difficult. And also you don't want to disappoint them at the same time because they are kids. So then I would do that.
At the end of the day, you would buy.
Exactly, I would complain, but still I would buy. I would buy whatever they needed. So I was always giving them.
In this process of debts, we're talking about how many years? From your first temporary job, then a permanent job, furthering your studies?
4 to 5 years.
My gosh.
4 to 5 years, I think.
What would be a beautiful beginning from your first job and building your financial status and raising your credit in the market? Instead of enjoying from your salary, you were sinking in debts. How was for you emotionally?
It was very stressful. It was very stressful because sometimes I would be in my room because I was renting. I mean, I was sharing with someone, right? So now I would be in my room and think about it and, just be so stressed and cry sometimes. And what bothered me the most was waking up in the morning, going to work. At the end of the month, the money goes to the creditors.
Did it somehow affect your studies and your career?
It didn't affect my studies that much because I was very focused when I was with my studies. I was focused, and what maybe made me to be at ease is that even though I had debts, I was able to pay my rent. I wouldn't miss it for anything.
Otherwise, you would be on the streets, isn't it?
So, and also be able to go to work at the same time. So that put me at ease.
Maggie, during all that time, were you already in the church?
Yes. Yes, I was in the church.
Were you a tither?
I was a tither, a faithful tither. Started giving tithe from the Sunday school. My mom taught me how to give tithe. But then because of these are the money mistakes that I did, the decisions I took that without realizing. So that's the decision that made me to be in that position. I was not even expecting God to clear my name, because of if I make a mistake, I believe that I need to correct it. If I was not able to correct it, then someone else just rescues me, then I will be doing it again in the future. So I believe that it was the money mistakes that I made that I needed to correct them myself.
At least you were different, because there are those who think, I'm a tither, so God needs to honor and solve the situation. But it was not God who put you in this situation.
No.
And I want here to make a disclaimer. Being a tither and even joining the Monday service is to equip you to use intelligent faith, to go beyond what would be your limits, what you could afford. That is not intelligent faith. We don't spend today to think about how we're going to pay tomorrow. Something else, Maggie. When you would need, in this process of 5 years, when, for instance, December comes, like we are living these days, you go back home to Cape Town.
Yes.
Could you go without buying gifts, without contribution? And of course, if you would look at your reality, you could not buy. But what would you feel in those moments?
December time, I would go to Cape Town, and I know December because the families you meet, and then you have to contribute and all of that. So it was not a nice moment for me, like financially, but I was looking forward to go and see my family. But then I knew when I get there, I needed to take my family out, my sister's kids to go out, because of they're thinking their aunt from the city of gold is here with money.
She's coming with the sneakers that we want.
Yes, so I needed to do the part and take them out. We have fun, we do all of that. And December would get a bonus, so the bonus, would help to be able to spend the money. So you would spend.
The bonus was not to pay the debts. The bonus was to spend.
Yes, to have fun, to enjoy, because it's December. You work throughout the year, so December is time for you to relax and enjoy your money, enjoy your bonus. That was the December for me back then.
Let us help our audience to understand what this Key December boss is, because maybe you don't have it in your country, but I'm sure you have something similar. Let us watch.
After the break.
The Western Cape is expecting a bumper holiday season.
I think it's a great time. We're saying goodbye to 1 year. It's a good time to reflect.
Key December Boss is a popular South African phrase that celebrates the fun and excitement of December. Key December means it's December in a local language, and boss is a term used to show respect or emphasize how important the moment is. The phrase Key December Boss expresses the excitement of the festive season. It's like saying it's time to have fun. It's all about living in the moment, enjoying life, spending money, and feeling free, like you are the boss of your own happiness. In short, Key December Boss is all about enjoying December to the fullest and celebrating life with joy and energy.
Now that they understood what Key December Boss is, I want also to explore what makes people to go beyond what they can afford and even put themselves in problems. And then January, we greet each other, God bless you, brand new year, but worries are there.
Yeah.
So when you were going home, and of course you had your bonus and you had free time, what was in your mind? Did you ever think about, I'm going to tell them I cannot take what they are expecting because I need to use this bonus to pay my debts? Did it ever cross your mind?
No, not at all. I couldn't tell them. I didn't even want to worry them about my financial status, what's happening. So I needed to come home and buy the things that they wanted, grocery for December and clothes that they needed, or help them fix whatever was there in the house. So I couldn't tell my family what was really happening with me financially if I was struggling. That was not a conversation that I would even think of to have with any of them.
Some people even think like this: I worked throughout the year.
Yes.
Now that I have some extra money, why am I going to save or pay my debts? I deserve. I need some benefit. I need some fun.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
some treat.
That's true, because December, when you get a bonus, I mean, it's a lot of money, right? It's not your normal monthly salary that you get. It's extra money. So you need to treat yourself. You need to look good. You need to eat well. You need to eat a steak or something. You know, it's just that you have in your mind. You are thinking of spending. No, you forget about your debts. It doesn't even feel like you have debts at the time because you've got money. You've got money. You're not thinking of, when I go back, what's going to happen if I will be left with money for January. No, you're thinking of the now because of it's December.
Exactly. Yeah.
And what else?
And Mrs. M, another thing that make people spend in December and all that, it's pressure. Sometimes the pressure comes from the family members, you know, they expect you to give them something, to buy them something. So you have that pressure that, oh, okay, it's December and I'm about to go home, to visit home. So it's a shame for me to go empty-handed. I need to go with something. The Zulus, they say konzekaya, you know, carry something. And at that moment, you are swimming, you are drowning into debts. So you don't even think about the debts that you have. What you are thinking about is to please your family members, which I'm not saying that it's wrong, you know, but sometimes some family members, they even put pressure on their kids that, you know, we paid for your school fees, you know, we are the ones who made you who you are today, so we have to share in this money. So you have that load, you have that bag that you are carrying of everybody is on your shoulders. Sometimes your salary is not even that much, but people that are going to benefit from that, it's way too much. And nobody thinks about you after that, what you are going to go through in January. So sometimes it's that pressure, because you also, even though some they do not even demand, because we have family members that do not even demand, but you bring that pressure on yourself as well that, okay, you know, I'm working, I want to show them that I have something, I have some money. You don't want to go home and say, I'm working, but I have nothing. So you feel embarrassed, oh, the community, the society is going to laugh at me.
There are even those who elect not to go home to avoid the embarrassment. They say, I was called to work throughout December and I will visit, I'll get my holidays in February, just to avoid going home empty-handed.
And on that note, Mrs. M, they might not even say, cover up that I'm being called at work. They will offer to work in December. They offer, no, I just want to work, I'll take my holidays in January, because they are avoiding the shame, the embarrassment. Yeah.
That is very cultural in our country, and I think throughout Africa.
Yes, yes, yes.
Something else that I notice, it is that issue of, I deserve. And that is dangerous, because that leads one to be compulsive. And the belief that later on I will fix, I'll find a solution. And in the church, I feel that it gets even worse because people somehow take the responsibility from them, a different perception that you had. Because you said, I would not even ask God to help me because I put myself in those debts. But there are those who say, no, I will do it because it's a good cause. And God will help me. Next year I will prosper. God will send me money. Money will show up in my account and pay my debts. And all that perception, it's compulsive to spend more. So we see family pressure. You have been through that. You had the concept, it's December, I need to treat myself. I cannot share that I'm not as successful as they think. And you go complying with demands. Sometimes demands from your family because actually they don't know what you're going through. And sometimes your own demands that you think you can do and later on you fix it. But the reality is that January comes immediately after the 31st of December. Eh?
Yes.
And believe me, we see a whole lot more people attending Monday services. When January came and became Jan-U-Worry for you, what were the things you had been through? And in those days, you were single, huh?
Yes.
Not having kids to go to
Yes,
school.
Yes.
What were the things that you had been through because you spent all your money, you went home, you didn't pay your debts, and now you have to go back to work?
Okay, that I didn't have kids that time on, but I mean, for us, my sister's kids are my
I
kids.
forgot about that, yeah.
Yes.
That's African family. Your kids are my kids kids are your kids. Sorry.
So I had to also help my sister with the kids, the school fees, the school stationery, the money, because we spent it in December. Now it's like, but why you didn't tell me that we had to buy school stationery, we needed to do this, because of now they need them. They need them, and then what to do? There's no money. There's no money left for them to have what they need, which is something important. The school stationery, paying the school fees. So that was the problem that we had to go in with my sister every January.
And you know, you want to be a proud aunt, isn't
Yes,
it? Yeah.
and then they would love you.
The aunt from
These kids
Igoli.
Yes, yes.
Yes, so it was very difficult. You were thinking, what's gonna happen now? And then when you don't have anybody else to help, so you have to come up with a way to still help them. Take from the little that's left that you're thinking, at least it will carry me until I get paid for transport. So you're taking from that little, then paying, buying the school stationaries, paying the school fees, and they also need clothes, school uniform.
Yeah.
December we bought clothes, then they forgot that January they will also need new school uniform.
And children grow so fast.
Yes, they grow so fast. So that was the problem. Every January it was worries. The first, it's Happy New Year, Happy New Life, but it was not actually that. Financially, it was something else.
Did you go through any kind of difficult moment in terms of having to save on food and transportation to make ends meet for that season?
January, yes. I mean, January, even when you buy food, right, you're just buying what will carry you. You just buy the important stuff, what is important, so that you can eat, at least have something. You're not thinking of what you were buying December, the meat and all of that. You just want something that will carry you through.
You did not go hungry,
No.
but you had to, somehow reduce or change the quality of the food you would have so that you could accommodate everyone's needs.
Yes, you have to do some sacrifices and help them, and also think of yourself that at least I can be able to help myself as well. But I would not go hungry. I think that's one thing I'm grateful for, even with the mistakes that I did, putting myself into so much debt. But I never went hungry. Also, paying my rent was always on time. I made sure of that.
And you know, Miss M, with us Africans, we are taught to put other people's needs ahead.
Yes.
That is why you see that even the mamas, the nannies, that work for the people outside, the white people, you see that they take care of their kids so much that the child has a bond with this mama now, that much, because it's what we were taught, that put other people's needs. Sometimes, we even choke ourselves because of that. So you choke yourself into debts because you want to please your family members, you want to please people, because you were taught that put others first, or your sisters first, you must come after.
That's true.
But when the debt comes, you are the one,
who has to pay.
who has to pay it.
Yes.
Did you ever think about, during this past 5 years, or you made a simple calculation, if I would not have gone to these accounts and this and that, how my financial status would be like 5 years later, having my job, furthering my studies? Did you ever stop to think about that?
Yes, I did.
Did you regret?
I did. Of course, I did regret a lot, because, I believe that God blessed me. From the first freelance job I had, it was a blessing, but I think I didn't take care of that blessing that God gave me. So when I look back, I would be like, I would have achieved this and that if it wasn't for for the debts that I created myself. My life would have been somewhere else. Financially, I would have been more stable than I was. So I did regret the decisions that I made when it came to my finances. So yeah.
But you had a turning point.
Yes.
And what was that?
My turning point was because what happened is that I was always wondering to myself what other people are doing with their money. That's the first thing I thought about. And then my friend, because she even mentioned that she's buying things cash.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, how is that even possible? Buying things cash. So, and thinking to myself, because we don't have money conversations with people around us, whether colleagues or how they are dealing with their money, how they are handling it. I didn't know. I didn't even know where to start to pay my debts. So that curiosity, and at that time I was dating my husband. So I even shared with him that this is what's happening. I have debts, which is something I believe that when you are dating someone, you need to be open about these things so that they don't find themselves in a problem that they didn't even know. So I told him, and then he advised me to listen to the Money Show on radio, just to learn how other people are doing with money, because that's what I've always wanted to know. Because you see people, like when you see people, you think that they're doing so well, and then you are wondering, how are they doing it? But you don't even have the courage to go and ask them that, I see that you're doing well. How are you doing it? Exactly. Can you help me because I'm going through this, how to manage my finances? So then I started listening to the Money Show. I was inspired by the stories that people spoke, how they're dealing with money. And one lady spoke about that her mom advised her never to work for debts. And that was what I was actually going through at that moment.
For 5 years?
Yes, waking up in the morning just to work for debts. So then I had to be, I needed to not be happy with where I was and realize that it was my mistake. I need to fix it. So then what I did, from educating myself about money, reading more about money blogs, how to pay up my debts, because what I wanted was to live a debt-free life and never again go back to debts. Because I think also the financial trauma that you go through is just a lot. It's too much. It just made me to really hate debts, because it wasn't a nice feeling, or being in that position, it wasn't good at all. It really frustrated me so much. So then from what I've learned while educating myself, they always advise that write down all your debts, whatever, from the biggest amount to the smallest amount.
Here we come with the tips for you, because we want your Jan-U-Worry to become Jan-U-Worth it.
Yes.
So write down the tips.
So I wrote down all my debts from the biggest to the smallest. And what I did, the smallest amount, I called the retail shop where I was owing, and I asked them for discount. I said, can you please give me a discount, because I want to pay it up. And it was December time, towards December, when I did that. So when I got my bonus December, now I used it in a different way. I took my bonus and I paid up that smallest debts that I had, and then made arrangements with other companies. How am I going to pay them monthly from then on?
We're talking about how many shop, retails, loans, and all that?
It was still 3, excluding the camera, because I paid it up. It was 3 accounts. Yes, and then 2 loans. Because now with the loan, now I remember with the loan, when I finished that loan, and then the other one, I had 2 loans. So now I had to make arrangements to pay them. So I was paying them, arranging every month to make sure that I pay my debts. And from then on, I started to, because of, it's not easy. It's not an easy journey. It's not so easy, because even during that time, trying to to come out of debts, and then you still feel, because you still have your responsibilities, you know, your family back home, you need to help. I still feel like, oh, it's not so easy. I did pay some, but again, you find yourself in a situation that I need someone to help me.
It's like a temptation.
Yes, it's like a temptation. You're repeating the same mistake, even though you knew that you're not supposed to.
Didn't end well, but you do it again.
Yes, you do it again. So I did it again when this time around I went myself to apply for a loan because I felt like, you know, I really need. So it was that. Paying, and then you still go back, because even the money beliefs that I have at that time was, I can't afford life. Like, I can't buy everything cash. I can't afford, but I was not living below my means, I think so. I was not living below my means, so it was everything, it was just above my means. And that's one of the things that I've learned, that you need to live below your means. So I would ask myself, how do I even start to live below my means? Like, how do I start? Because of, this is how it has been since I've started working, and this is what I know.
I don't know another way. That was in your mind.
Yes, there's no other way. But even though I was trying to implement what I've been learning, and also praying for my finances, you know, in the church Mondays, I was making my chain of prayers.
To use intelligent faith and not be driven by the spur of the moment, by compulsion, because someone needs you.
Yes.
Then you start doing some decisions.
Yes. So I was making those decisions and praying, because, you know, the Holy Spirit can become everything, your helper, your advisor. So I would really talk to God and be like, my God, this is too much. This is too much. Even now going to work, it feels like, but I'm going to work and then working for debts. It's not even enjoyable anymore, because, you know, at the end of the month, this money goes. So, and another thing that I forgot to mention is that there was a time where someone told me that there's an option whereby you can reverse the money. When the creditors, when they debit the money, you can reverse it.
Oh.
Yes. So I learned that. I was like, oh, wow, I need that. Because, you know, I couldn't, I was not able to handle everything, even as much as I was trying to pay the debts, but it was still too much.
But you were duplicating your debts.
Yes, the areas would just go up, nothing would change. Because of now, they debit the money and then I need it so I can go and reverse the money.
Oh, gosh. I hope it's not possible anymore.
I don't know if it happens. So that's how some person advised me to do that, because there was a point whereby you're like, the money, it's just, you know, it's gone with the, just there by the creditors, everything is gone. So I needed that option. For me at that time, it really worked. It helped. I needed it, but I was not aware that I'm putting myself more into debts, because the debt was still there and I needed to pay it at the end of the day. So
did you break free?
Yes, I did break free.
Completely?
Completely.
Do you believe now in loans, or you buy cash?
I buy cash. I don't.
You eradicated credit from your life?
Everything.
You plan, you budget. If you can, you buy. If you cannot, you wait a little longer.
Yes, because what I do now, if something I don't afford it, I'm not gonna buy it.
Yeah.
I don't buy it. It means I don't afford it. If I don't have cash now, I don't have the money to buy it. So I will just leave it. I budget. I don't just spend on, if now they say, let's go there, then I'm going. I plan everything ahead. I plan ahead. I think, do I afford it? So I don't go, there's this say that says, it's either you go big or you go home. So I'd rather go home now than spending something and then the next day I don't have money. So it's always living below our means. That's what we do now. That's what I've been implementing in my life. Even when I was single, I was starting to do that, even though it was not so possible. But as time goes by, then you eliminate, when I was eliminating the debts, it makes it easier for you to be able to live below your means. Because when you work, you know that this is your money. The money is not going to debts. The money is there with you, but then you know that, okay, if this, we can't afford this, rather we wait for the next month, or we save up for it up until we have that. So when I got married, I still had the debts, but they were not as much as
they were before.
they were because of I was paying them. So what we did with my husband the first year of our marriage, because he had just started his law firm and it was not doing so well. So because of I had paid some of the debts, I was able to pay rent for us because of his business was not making money at all.
First year is very hard.
Yes, it was very hard for him. So I was, with my salary, I was able to do the things that we needed to do in the house, pay rent, money for petrol, to go to work. That's the things that I was able to do the whole year. So then he needed a side hustle. So he got a job as an external marker for one university for their law students. So the money, the extra money that he made, we would also, because still I was continuing writing down the debts that we had, because that time he had a car that he was paying for. So that car, it was one of the things that we also wrote down. Every debt that we had, we were still paying them. And also there are sacrifices that we had to make, not going out, because we believe that we can't go out to restaurants while we are struggling, while we need to pay. And the income that we had, it was my income the first year. So we were paying debts slowly with the money that he made on the side hustle job. So we were paying all our debts. So like no more, because I remember that December, because December now I was just using my money wisely. So there was one account I needed to pay. It was a lot of money and I thought like, should I? You know, that thought comes.
The temptation.
Yes, the temptation. Should I? But I was like, it's the right thing to do because of we don't want to live in debts anymore. And that was what I've always wanted to be free from debt. And, you know, still coming to Monday services, praying for our finances, for God to give us a breakthrough. So we were praying. And I remember my husband was saying to me that, you know, the Bible says we shall borrow from none and lend to many. So that was the Bible verse we were praying over, that Lord, this promise must come true into our lives. We want to start buying things cash. But obviously, because at that time, you know, doubts will come to me and I will ask my husband, but how is it going to happen? And he will be like, don't worry, leave it to God. He knows how he is going to make it for us. But we were praying over
And you
that.
were doing your part as
Yes,
well.
I was also doing my part. So eventually we were able to pay up all our debts. We paid.
There is something that might be a foreign word for our audience, and that is called budgeting. But that was how you managed to go to a debt-free life. So I want them to follow this material we have prepared for them, to teach them a little bit about budgeting.
Budgeting. How to budget this festive season. Budgeting is an important part of being financially responsible. It's something that you should be doing every month. But December is where drawing up a budget is most important, because you're either going to be getting your salary earlier than usual or you'll be expecting a bonus. Here are 3 ways you can budget this festive season. 1. Plan what you're going to be spending your money on. At this time of the year, it's important that you make sure that all your necessities are paid for. Before you use your money to enjoy festivities, draw up a list of necessities and luxuries such as rent, school fees, groceries, and new clothing, etc. Make sure that all your necessities are paid for before anything else. It's the best way to ensure that you don't have to worry about your financial obligations. That's the purpose of budgeting. 2. Track your spending. Once you've drawn up your budget and paid all your debts, we advise that you keep track of your daily or weekly expenses. Keep your receipts, check your bank transactions. This way you can keep track of the money leaving your wallet and prevent yourself from overspending and ruining this month and next month's budget. 3. Control your spending. Just because you're keeping track of your expenses doesn't mean you should spend all the money you've got to your name. Make sure that you spend within your financial means. And that's how you can survive this festive season and make the best financial decisions.
So I hope that they learn the secret of budgeting so that January becomes Jan worth it. Because your December, January, February, March are worth it today.
Yes, they are worth it. I don't have to do things under pressure or do it to please my family. Because now whatever I do, I budget. I write down things, everything that I need to buy with money, to spend with money, I write it down. Even though I know, but I keep writing them down, because when you do budgeting, it's like telling your money where to go. You get to understand where your money is going. Now I have control over my money rather than my money just disappearing in my account where then I don't know at the end of the month. So I buy things that I afford. I live below my means. I never go big because...
You also have your savings?
I have my savings because now I see money differently rather than before how I used to see it. So rather instead of me spending like December to buy a lot of clothes for my niece and nephews, I would rather save for their education. That's what I do. I invest for them, and I would tell them that when they ask for money, I will tell them what is important. Let's see, do you really need this? So I need to weigh. I don't just give them or to make them think that I'm the good aunt, you know. I don't need that from them anymore because of now I understand that I need to invest for them. I invest for them.
You are educating them.
Yes.
What you didn't have,
Yes.
and many didn't have. Because you know, one pattern, for her friend, for me, for others, our first job, we think we can buy everything.
Yes.
And it's where we start wrong.
Yes.
So you are already educating them at a young age to know where to spend and what is the priority of the moment.
And she's instilling discipline in them, that they will grow up disciplined as well.
Yes.
Because you didn't have anyone to do that for you.
True.
And you were not disciplined with your money.
Yes.
But you are instilling discipline in another way, telling them that what is important comes first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even the parties, yearly parties, no parties, rather invest that money for education because every year they would want a party. I will tell them now, you don't need a party. You need to take this money, invest it for education. And I have savings because what we do now is that we need, there's this thing that I do that I budget monthly, and also the savings emergency fund, something that I need to have. And with having a business, you need to be safe in case of an emergency that happens.
You never know how much actually you're going to make. It's not a fixed salary.
Exactly. So now what we do, we have to save up 6 months of our monthly expenses. We know that 6 months it's there, it's saved. And then also for our son's educations, I've started saving for him. I'm already saving for tertiary because of course we don't have...
He's what, 7, 8 years old?
He's 4 years old.
4?
Yes, he's 4 years old.
She's already saving for tertiary.
Yes, so, but the thing is we know that the future, it's not, tomorrow is not promised. But as much as we don't have control over our future, we also need to plan, ahead of in case anything happens. You know, there were times, years like with my husband, sometimes maybe there are late payments, but then we know that we are not worried because we have planned that's why it's called emergency fund. For 6 months, in case of anything happens, there is money saved for 6 months, and my son's education. So now, because of we saved when he starts school January, we pay up the school fees for the whole year. We don't have to worry that we need school fees for this and for that. So that's how the budgeting, it helps. And also living below your means. Don't do things because of so-and-so is doing. You know your pocket, live below your means, do what you afford. That's what
now, before, look at the huge transformation. Before you were working to pay debts. Today, money works for you.
Yes, it does. It's like telling money where to go.
This is what we want them to achieve. Today, God's point in this is very easy. I don't even know if I need to reflect or interpret much.
Now it's time for God's point in this.
In the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 21, it is stated like this: "For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." So maybe your family, all the demands, are your treasure. Maybe to portray success to friends is your treasure. Maybe to be compulsive shopper or with your appearance is your treasure. There your heart will be. And because you will be guided by your feelings, by your heart, by the inclinations, by the emotions, you will not establish the right priorities. When you change that situation and you are not carried out by your heart, but by reason, what really matters? What can I afford and share with my family? What can I do? How can I budget? Now you will have a great treasure, and your heart will be submissive to reason. So you will live a debt-free life. You will be happy with your decisions, and you will have a future to be proud of. This is what we want with you. Yes, you deserve, you worked hard. It is que December boss, but we don't want you to live the pain of January. Toko, what it all means for today.
Now it's time for what it all means.
You know, what it all means for today is that, I don't know if you remember in the beginning, Maggie mentioned that she's a tither, faithful tither. She started tithing when she was very young. And many people, especially Christians, church members, they like to make debts thinking that God is going to pay my debt. That is not okay. Just because you are a tither, you can't do that. You have to pay your own debts because you are the one who made them, not God. Yes, God will bless you, but also He gives us wisdom. We need to think before we do things, because you see that when it's December, people use their emotions, people use their feelings, what they feel at that moment, then they end up putting themselves in trouble. And stop living for people. You know, you want to impress people with your money, and those people, by the time you don't have money, they won't be there to be impressed by you not having money. So it's very important that you use wisdom, even though you are a faithful tither. Remember that we have to use intelligent faith. That is why the Bible is there to teach us that, because you can't put yourself or swim into debts thinking that God, when I arrive home or I go to work, when I open my bank account, what will happen? Money will be there. No, there isn't anything like that. And you know, Mrs. Marcia, another thing that I forgot even to mention, I'll put it here. Many of our people, their bank cards, they don't even stay with them. I don't know if you knew that.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
They don't. They are with the loaners.
Yeah.
They stay there, because they are owing. So take my bank card until the day I am done with my debts. So they don't even have money. We are talking about December. Your kids wants to eat, they don't have money because you've been making debts and debts. And remember that December is just once, ne? It will come and go. But your children, they will always be there looking at you. We need school fees, we need this and that. So think before you spend.
We would like to pray for your financial life. Very seldom here we do such a prayer. But I'm going to pray in a way that God gives you the understanding of how to use what He has been giving to you in a fruitful way. Not being given to compulsiveness, not being given to attend to everyone's needs and forgetting that it will take your peace away and you will not be able to cope with that situation. So let us pray. Our Lord and our Father, we thank you so much because you teach us in every way. You do not teach us only about the word of salvation, but you teach us how to conduct ourselves in everyday situations. And I know, my Father, there are many who are in the church. And for all the reasons that we spoke here and others that maybe we did not mention, they will succumb and they will spend more than what they can. They will put themselves in trouble. They will go to all the roots of depression affecting their health. Who knows, my Father, there will be those who in January won't even have what to give to their children to eat because they spent all they had during the festive season, not thinking about the reality that comes day after day. So I pray now, Lord, for the financial life of all those who have watched this program. I pray, moreover, that you guide them with wisdom to be able to say no. No to themselves, no to their compulsion, no to their emotions, so they may rewrite their financial life. They come to church, they join campaigns, but if they don't stop to make sound decisions, they will not enjoy from the multiplication that only you can bring to their life. So I bless them with wisdom right now when they are about to make their decisions for the seasons ahead of them. That instead of thinking about only the pleasure of December, they think about the priorities, the responsibilities that they will have in January, and help them to turn the situation around as you did with Maggie, so they can tell in 2025, I broke free financially. I live within my means. I am not an overspender, and today I have peace. I bless them with such understanding. In the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
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 Maggie, thank you very much. So I think now we have empowered them to have the best December
Yes.
of their lives if they followed the tips you shared with them.
I believe so too, Mrs. Nash.
Because today, when you look at your life today and your life back in years, you have peace, you are happy.
So much
And you still
peace.
go out, isn't it?
Yes, I do. I do go out.
I know that. You travel.
Yes.
But why? You budget for that. You
Yes.
planned.
Yes. Plan. Living a debt-free life, it brings so much peace. Because our God is a God of peace. He doesn't want us to be troubled.
No.
So peace is what was important for me, to be free and be able to do the things that I want with my money.
This is what we want for them, isn't that?
Yes.
Now you can plan your December, but don't forget, January is just around the corner. And in January, you have your responsibilities. So act wisely. Until next week, God bless you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.